Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you this new tool that I discovered. It's new to me anyway, the Hampton Art Stamp Perfect tool. And I know there are other tools like this out on the market. There is the Misty tool I know of. I never did purchase it because to me it was a little pricey, compared to how often I thought I would use it. I'm sure it's a great tool and probably well worth the price, but I just didn't think I'd use it enough to justify that price. So this one is smaller from what I understand. And let me tell you, we had quite a time finding it. I had watched a YouTube video where someone had purchased it at Michael's. So called our Michael's, our local Michael's. They said, we don't have it, but the next town over, they have one. They have 4 in stock actually. So I said, great. So we went there, asked for it, because we couldn't find it. We looked where all the stamps were and the inks and everything, could not find it. So they called the manager up because the girl at the checkout said they didn't have any. She came up, she said, I don't find them. I need the number to be able to find them. And so I called back, and she was annoyed that the first store had sent me there. So I called back and got the item number, and then she realized it was on an end cap. Well, I was picturing a big box with this tool in it. I don't know why, because I knew the tool wasn't very big. Instead, it's in a box like this, and it's got a little hanging thing. And so it was on an end cap. With this was there with all the different Hampton Art stamps that are layering stamps that they say, to use with it. So I did purchase one of those. I did not have a great deal of luck with it. I may play with it again and see and come back and do another video with that stamp set. It's not the one I'm going to be using today. So if you go to your Michael's, or if you call them, you need this number. It's 505997. And that's how they look it up, because it might not be where they think it's going to be. So if you take this number in, though, they should be able to find it or let you know if they have it in stock. I think you can order it probably many other places. Scrapbook.com I think has it, but it's right at $30 I think, $28.99, something like that. But if you go to Michael's, of course, you can use 40 or sometimes 50% off coupons. And so I'm sorry, but that's the way I usually purchase it because of the great price. This does not belong to me, though I'm playing with it. It's my mother's. She received a $50 gift card to Michael's for Christmas. So it was so much fun to take someone there. I didn't spend any of my own money, but I helped her spend hers, which was almost as fun as buying something myself. But she was kind enough to let me have this to review for a bit. Now I've found, I think, the best place in my craft room to film this so that I'm not catching a big glare off the lights. You could still see it's got a reflection going, but there's no way around that with this stamp set, this stamp tool. So Hampton Art Stamp Perfect is what it's called, and they call it a stamp positioning tool. And it comes like this with 2 magnets to hold your cardstock in place. And it comes with this foam piece so that if you're going to use the clear stamps like I'm going to use today, the thin clear acrylic, polymer, whatever different material, you're going to need this. If you're going to use some of the red rubber stamps, the unmounted red rubber stamps, you don't. You take that out and you've got this nice grid, which I really like. I wish there was kind of a grid on the stamp thing, but there is a stamp pad, but there is a grid on the lid. So that's nice for lining up sentiments and things. So let me show you what I made as I was playing with this. I made this little card, and I'll probably end up going to my grandson or my granddaughter, I don't know. But this is stamp set by Close to My Heart. I don't know if they still sell it. I don't sell Close to My Heart any longer, so I do not have a clue. But it's called the Love You Silly, and it's B1470 if they still have it. And all the Close to My Heart stamps come in these nice little sleeves, which I like, and they all come with their own little foam piece, which I won't be needing. But the reason I chose this stamp set is because these are fairly solid. And if you've ever had the frustration of stamping with a solid stamp, you stamp the thing and it doesn't come out completely clear. If you've got it on a regular stamp block, it is nearly impossible to line that thing back up perfectly. I know some people who can do it. I am not one of them. So the nice thing about this was the first time I stamped this one, didn't come out completely looking like this, nice and solid and crisp. The second time I still had a little spot. The third time it looked really great. And of course it was lined up perfectly each time. So let me show you a few other things I did just to kind of see. This is a little paper doll stamp set that I had. And I did a few sentiments. I pressed too hard. You don't need to press very hard when you've got a really thin stamp like this, because you will get, the edges won't be crisp. So you want to be careful with that. And I did a few butterflies. Again, don't press very hard. You don't need to. And I did this kind of distressed looking stamp that I've always loved, but I wanted to see the detail on the hand came out nicely, and it really did. Okay, so we're going to take the back side of something I've already stamped to play with. Put the magnets down like that. I'm going to decide where I want these two little guys. Let's see, put one there and one there. And then what you do is you simply put the lid over, press it, pick up, and there you go. Okay, so we're going to ink these stamps up. And what I realized with this thing is, wouldn't it be nice to have little ink pads of the colors you want to use? I have a ton of Close to My Heart, and this is the color Thistle. Again, whether they still have this color or not, I don't know. Okay, so let's take this, go over, kind of press these guys a little bit, and let's see what we ended up with. Not too bad, but you can see where I've got some areas that aren't very clear. So I'm going to ink him up again. Oops, sorry, I just touched my camera. Sorry, everybody. Get you jostled a little bit there. And we're going to press him down again. And look how much better they look. That is so nice to be able to line that up perfectly and know that it's going to get all those spots covered, and you know that you're not going to be off a little bit. So really pretty, really easy to use. With this card, I used the Thistle ink, and I used just some scrap piece of paper and the sentiment that comes with these little guys, which I think are just adorable. And then I put some little dots down. Nothing fancy. Took me just a couple minutes to make this card once I had the stamping done. Really, really easy to use this tool. I'm sure that the Misty's probably the same way, but for the price point, if you're a card maker and don't need something really large, I think this is a great, great deal. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, and happy crafting.